Hello and welcome to Community Chats. I'm Aley Hammer, and today we're joined with Theresa Dang, a campus recruiter from AWS. Theresa, welcome to the show. Can you start by sharing how a candidate can have their CV stand out from the crowd?
Definitely. A CV is definitely a very, very important document, and anyone who does one should be very, very proud, as it's really the first impression to any potential employer. So it is a dynamic doc that really highlights and sell your achievements to date. And often, people forget to update what they have or done or achieved. So at an early stage of your career, an employer doesn't expect, you to have any corporate experience, especially, when you apply for a graduate or an internship position. So in terms of how you can stand out from the crowd, definitely there's a few key pointers here. So firstly, make sure that your CV is succinct. Don't waffle on if you don't need to. Yeah. Secondly, read through the job description and cater your CV to highlight the skills that the employers are looking for. For example, earlier on my career, I had different versions of my CV, for a customer service role, for an administration, focus role, which highlighted those key areas from the job description. Academics, are fantastic. It's definitely great, but an employer isn't always focused on your marks or your grades. It's how you juggle and prioritize. So either if you've had any jobs, let it be, retail or hospitality, or corporate, or even a volunteering role, a passion project is fantastic. Or, join any student societies, while juggling university full time, definitely add that in. I would definitely, encourage people to really switch, their responsibilities, rather than listing them, on the CV. So, change them, over to achievements, adding, quantifiable data always shows, ownership. So employers love that. And lastly, make sure, that high attention to detail. So no spelling mistakes. Attention to detail is key.
Thank you so much, Theresa. Those are some awesome tips. And how long does a typical recruitment process actually run for? Is it a couple of days, months? What are we looking at?
Yeah, it really depends, on each team and, definitely the role that you are applying through. So at Amazon, we do have a 2 and 5 promise, which, usually means that you'll hear back from Amazon with a decision within, 2 days after phone screens and, within 5 days of, any on-site or, interview or loops. So, in student programs, which is where I sit, we do high volume, campus hiring. So unfortunately, we try our best to stick to this promise. However, it doesn't exist because of the sheer volume that we go through. So, once you go through, phone interviews, it's generally quite quick, and based on your availability and also the interviewer's availability to schedule in an interview, and you'll hear back from us within 2 to 3 days.
Wow, that's very reassuring. Thanks, Theresa. And we all hear about the Amazon leadership principles, but how important are the LPs in the actual interview process?
Our leadership principles are definitely very, very important, as this is the fundamentals or foundation of what we do here as Amazonians. So these sort of, values really highlight, that, what we're looking across Amazonians, and really guide us on how we recruit on a global scale as well. So, for someone who is interviewing at a job in Australia, the key set values are the same as someone that's interviewing, in the US. So what I would encourage you to do is definitely, prepare yourself, read through our leadership principles. You can do a quick Google search and put down, Amazon leadership principles before any interview. It definitely shows some insightful ways of how we do things, our culture, our values, and, what we do here.
Absolutely. And I can 100% testify to the fact that that's true. You definitely will get asked about the LP, so I'll come up a lot. Theresa, to round off this chat, how many interviews can a candidate expect to have? I mean, I know with my interview, for instance, I think I had 7 or 8. So is that standard, or how many can someone expect?
Yeah, it's definitely depending on the team, at Amazon. So, it's typically 2 to 4 interviews at grad or intern level. So if it's an internship role, it's catered towards 2 but if it's a graduate or a permanent opportunity, it's catered up to, 4 or 5. So Amazon does invest a lot of their time, from our teams to really recruit, the right people. So a part of our online assessments from the initial stage, you'll have a very personable feel to our recruitment process, as you will be speaking directly, to our hiring managers and, your team colleagues, who you're definitely working with as well. So this really sets us apart from, other employers, as we don't have typical assessment centers, or, it's more for you to understand your role and also your remit. So what better way to, really, ask directly to the team that you'll be placed in as well. So, we definitely have, quite a lot of extensive rounds of interviews, but it's more of a personable touch here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Theresa, for coming on the show. We're going to get you back for a whole series. I'm so excited to chat to you next week. So we'll see you then. If anyone has any questions, please pop them in the comment section below and we'll get back to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.